All right, Sky Masters, we got a pretty cool tutorial, I guess, today for advanced Blender building techniques in using No Man's Sky add-on plugin for Blender. Sorry, I had to get that out correctly because I get a lot of people that come over and start talking. Well, I'll get a Blender guru coming over and put me in my place, telling me that I don't know how to use Blender, which is he's right. But I do know how to use Blender with the No Man's Sky application probably fairly well. But I bet if I was a Blender guru, and I would know some other techniques that would really help out. I am sure of it. I don't know the Blender plugin or the Blender program itself. I am not a master at. Just using the No Man's Sky plugin, and I'm sure there's some techniques that would really rock it off. And that's one of them is I'm going to show you now. And I found this out by accident. Well, was by Ash Factor showing us how to do instancing within Blender, which was really cool. And then, so I found that, but then I found out that most of the things that I wanted to instance were just way too damn big. So then I started scouring around and I found some modifiers and things like that. And then I was like, okay, so that opened a world of where I could actually get these models into the game and be translatable. You know, if they have too many faces, then you can't put 120,000 pieces into a game. It just doesn't happen. So, and then rendering all this stuff takes a pretty decent amount of CPU power. So I think having a powerful PC and having SSDs and being just optimized for the situation just really helped me out. So maybe I can pass on the knowledge to you. You're going to get varied results with different hardware. So just keep that in mind, and we're going to dive right into this. So let's minimize the screen over here and stop looking at that face. And I don't know where to put me at. Let's put me over here, I guess. I don't know, because there's some stuff on the bottom right hand screen I want to show you. So I'm not going to open up. Well, we will open up. Let's open up a project file because I want to do this correctly for you. So I will go into the save editor here, and we will do this correctly, like we're going to do it properly. I think the thumbs down is already in one of these, so maybe I can pick another slot. Maybe we can put it in normal, I guess. No, we're just going to go in creative. There's one already there, but I didn't want to do it with you guys. If you haven't used the save editor or you haven't used Blender, go back and use some of my watch some of the other videos in the Blender building playlist. Okay, I suggest going back and watching that, or going back and starting with Charlie Banks's videos on the plugin add-on site on the Nexus.com where the mods are at. So go and check that out first. Do not skip ahead, or you're going to be at all overwhelmed. This is something that you just can't just learn it really quickly. I think you can get the basics down if you watch the videos. But I think if you do it in order, in an prudent way, and take your time and be like, hey, it's going to be like a week-long course. This is something I really want to do. I want to build that's what I did. I seen an Ash Factor build. He did the Enterprise, and I said, I want to know how to do that. How did he do that? I'm not going to stop until I figure out how to do it better. And I feel like I did one better than him. Ash Factor, I love you. He's a way better build than me. But I did kill your Enterprise. I killed it. I love that guy. I did not even in competition with him at all, dude. Not at all. All right, but we're going to take some of his ideas and then some of other techniques, and we're going to add them into here. So let's go get a project file. Everybody should be comfortable with what we're doing right now. I'm just doing this. I don't even need to do this to show you what I'm doing, because I use Blender a lot to play around with files, and then I'll save it as a preset, and then I'll come in and get a No Man's Sky file, and I'll import that preset in the file. So you don't really need one of these, but I'm doing it proper for everybody in the video universe so they can see how I'm doing it properly. All right, so we're just going to grab this last one. I'm pretty sure that's the build that I had already. And we're going to copy that and take this over into the Blender universe. Ew. Now, you could be using the old Blender or the new Blender. I have both versions. I use them both. There's some tools that haven't been converted to the new Blender that are really cool. There's like a maze thing that just like an auto maze, and you get really weird results, especially when you put the pieces from. It's just really odd. Like it's happy accident territory anyway. So you can see that I have this here. Let's go ahead and delete this. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to get this in there. We're going to delete everything. Come on, meow. There she goes. She's all out. One light is in the bottom. Okay, let's take that light out too. Let's highlight that and get it out of there. We should just have our base flag, and that's all we want. Let's go ahead and highlight that. It didn't really matter. Okay, so we are going to import this file. This file is, the link is in the description. So I will stop right now, or you can pause the video, go get the small little file really quickly, and then come back here. Okay, cool, you're back. All right, so we're ready. That file should be on your desktop. So let's go find it and get it into our game file in Blender. So let's go up to File and go to Import. Now the file is in a OBJ wavefront format, so let's go and look for that. You can see it right here, the wavefront OBJ. Click on that. Now over here on the left hand side, mine is set at Documents. I want it to look at my desktop because that's where I have it. But if you have it in Downloads, let's point the program to where to find it at the location that you have put the file at. It's probably going to be, I don't even think I'm going to have it zipped, but if it's zipped, unzip it, of course, put it on your desktop. That's what I would do. And then you can see I've clicked on my desktop. I'm going down and I have that thumbs up OBJ file all the way at the bottom because everything else is just file folders, and it's looking for a specific OBJ file anyway. It's only going to show up those file formats. So it's on the very bottom. It's pretty easy to find. Let's go ahead and click on that and then hit this little tab right here. It says Import OBJ.
Bam! Look at that. It's so cool. Wow. It's already in the thumbs down position. It's not even in the thumbs up position. That's clearly crazy.
I thought it came up in the thumbs up position, but it's in the thumbs down position already. So I want to show you something right now. And if you've watched my other videos, this is a secret sauce that I think is very important. And if you haven't watched them, you should go back. I tell you, don't rush these things. Go back and watch the Charlie videos first as you're downloading this tool, and then get a little comfortable. Get your feet wet. Go mess a few things up. Then come back. Make a new save, experimental save, and play around for a little bit and get used to it, and then go watch the basics video that I have, and then come back to here, and I think you'll be super comfortable and ready to really rock the world. I mean, I'm almost tired and done with doing this, so I'm gonna give out my secret sauces because I've kind of fizzled, and I'm not really finding things interesting anymore. So I want to see what you guys are doing out there, and maybe I can help somebody fulfill their fantasies within No Man's Sky like I did. And using this tool really opens up everything. So, all right. So the secret sauce that I wanted to tell you about is this at the very bottom of the screen. So some people don't have this information down here. You can see on the bottom right. You should be able to see that over there. Yeah, you can. It says Scene Collection, Base Flag, Vertices, Faces. The tries, I don't know what exactly that is, and then objects. So obviously there's some really key information. Object would be very key information for you right off the point. So let me show you how to get this first, and then let's talk about the things that are there. So if you're touching this bottom panel down here, do a right click and click on Scene Statistics. Scene Statistics. Let's get that out there correctly. All right, no editing. That's gonna stay in. Okay, so we're gonna click that on, and now we can see this information. And this is important to tell you a lot of information down here because the complexity is, your objects are definitely have something to do with the game. So you know that you can't upload anything past 3,000 objects. So that piece of information that's right here is already very crucial to you. You know how many things are in the game. This is if you want to upload. See, sometimes you might not. I don't really care about uploads. I just want to check out some piece of artwork and be able to enjoy some VR crazy things. As you can see, you can build whatever you want and duplicate things and replace objects. I'll show you how to do all that. And yeah, I'm going to help you build your fantasy within No Man's Sky, because I did it for a long time and it was really, really cool. So now that you have this information down here, there's some other things that you can look at down here that are really going to help you out. The vertices and the faces. So faces are going to tell you how many a face is a connected, a whole connected face. You know, like a triangle would be your smallest face that you could have, because you have to have a connecting point. You can't connect 2 lines. You got to have 3. So that would be your face, and whatever connect points would be a face. So that's how many faces you have, and that's probably the most important number that you can see right now. And faces and vertices will be sort of, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I've got that wrong, but I can tell you that the faces are going to translate with how many pieces get put over when we replace them. Man, I'm kind of being terrible at explaining this, but it's maybe I should just shut up and move on. But you have to watch these numbers. This number is going to correlate to how many pieces go into the game. I can tell you that. The rest of it might be a little bit over my head, and I'm not explaining it correctly to you, and I don't know it well enough to actually teach it. Like I said, I don't know Blender super well, so this is terminology that's a little bit beyond my reach of being able to explain it. I can look at it and I kind of know what's going on, but I don't think I can explain it. But I can tell you the importance of these numbers down here. Objects are obviously, and then the faces are something that I know that almost translate into how many pieces exactly. So those are the 2 numbers that we are going to focus on, and those are the reasons why we're focusing on them. The rest of it can be, up for interpretation by somebody smarter than me on the topic. Okay, so we are going to pull this up and get it in position over our base. And we already talked about how there's too many faces. That's 36 faces on here. So I guess if you zoomed in and you looked at the mesh, which it's so tight right now we're not even seeing it, that you would, well, I guess we can hit the tab button, right? Tab shows you the mesh. So sometimes so here's the mesh, and that would be faces. So there's 36,000 of these all over the place, and you can see that as we get in here tight, we can see that it's complicated, and we need to uncomplicate this before we can even use this, because 36,000 pieces is way too much. So let's get ourselves under control here. We have it in position, we have it where we want it, and over here on the right hand side, I do believe if you, whatever you, it might be somewhere else, because everybody has a Blender kind of set up differently. It comes, I like mine set up like this. I'm not going to go through my setup process. I do believe that I do that in another video. Go check those videos out. Like I said, you might be lost with certain techniques that are just key little elements to get this far. So go back and check those out. All right, so wherever you have your stuff set up at, over here on the right hand side, you should see a little toolbox. And in this little toolbox, you see modifiers, and that's what we want to do. I'm sure there's probably other ways to get there too. I'd imagine there is. Let's get out of this that view there, and let's add a modifier called Decimate. Okay, you can see it right there, and we're going to add that in, and we are going to decimate the faces and the complexity of how this model and mesh is built. I guess we can go back into mesh and look at it while we're doing it, right? Yeah, we can. Okay, that'd be interesting. Let's shift this up and look at, I guess, get a good look at these knuckles in here. Okay, so let's look at over here. So I can, this is something I can't explain again. I just know that I've played around with this and how I get my results and which numbers that I'm watching. And you can see over on the right hand side, underneath this decimate tool, we have some options, and collapse, unsubdivide, planar, ratios, symmetries, triangulate. I'm sure there's a Blender guru in here that would
really pick this apart and really go really crazy about it.
I wish I knew. I really did, but I can tell you, I could still get what the results I know with what the numbers that I'm looking at, and the one that I like in here is called unsubdivide. So I usually come in here and click on it, and I can see the face count right here, and I'm going to come up here and I'm going to start clicking over to the right. No, and the iterations are not going down. That's weird. Collapse planar, angle limit. Is there like an accept button? Sorry, my microphone stands kind of in the way here. That number's supposed to be going down, and I don't know why it's not. Is it because I'm in that mode here? Okay, so it is. Okay, so I was looking at it. We can't be in the mesh mode. So I went over into, so I just went to, I'm in collapse, and just go by switching over to unsubdivide, we've taken the face count down to 17,000. So let's watch this number as I click the iterations up. So we've gone to 2, now we're at 10,000. We could probably put 10,000 spheres into the game and have it render if you wanted like to really detailed, really big and detailed. You could do it that way, but we're not doing that. We just want to. I want something small and simple. So I'm gonna keep on taking the iterations up. Take it up again. I think this is the last one you can do. Oh, 45,000, 43, 42. Let's keep on going. Now you usually get to a point where it just stops, and you can just keep on going. And it's almost ridiculous. But let's say, I mean, this is renderable if you have a decent PC. I think it's even on anything it would render, but you just can't upload it, depending on the part. We can get, we should be able to get this in lights. So now we need to take this mesh and convert it over to something that we can use, or we need to duplicate it, or how are we going to take this and put it in the game? We need to convert this over to parts. So let's go grab a part that we can use. Now, I think I get a lot of really good results off of weird models by using the cylinder, because there is no orientation. It's got it's a ball. It's the same thing on every side. It's the most fluid piece that you could use in this situation, and it's pretty basic. That and a pyramid, I think I've put the most part I've put in the game. I do like a test on the game builds when they come out. I use the pyramids as the piece that I've always used since the beginning, and I know that piece has gone down. I used to be able to put like 15,000, maybe 15, a little over than that. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can put like I'll put 20,000 in the game, and I'll look at my build in there, and I'll go like, okay, so 30% is not showing up roughly, or some kind of number like that, and that's how I get my estimate of what the game has done. And it's gone downhill. So I suggest using maybe some of those, but right now I'm actually going for lights. So I'm just going to type in light right there, and I'm just going to grab a blue one. And that should add it right down there at the base computer. Let's take the base computer out. Let's just take the eyeball off, so we're not messing with it. And so that light, that's actually probably a decent size. We'll just keep it at a regular size. I'm not really blowing this up too big. Or I guess we could. Let's take the thumb, take the thumb up. Oh, device setup. Let's get this what? Let's dismiss that. Let's dismiss that. I don't know what that is. All right, so we got this thing huge now. Let's tap on that light. Let's blow that light up a little bit. Okay, so now we have that light selected. Let's hit shift, and let's tap on the hand there, and let's go Control P and click object. Okay, so now we've set the parent, so whatever happens here, it happens there, or it's going to mimic the mesh faces. I'll show you, and this is where the faces come in, the face count comes in an importance play here. So you see that our faces are at that 4,500 there, 4522 to be exact. So now that we've set it to parent, we're going to go back over here to this little tab where we use the decimate tool. But we're not using the decimate tool. We're going to go right above the decimate tool over here to this little box that has it says object properties right here, and just click on that. Now we're going to scroll down, and you see a little tab here that says instancing. Open up that instancing. Now you can play with different types of styles in here too. This is another thing where you just kind of come in here and play around and see what kind of things that you get. So for right now, we're just going to go right in. I'm going to click vertices. Boom. You can see that I've already got like a. You can see that it's there. I think we can go to face, or let's see, align. No, that usually goes crazy unless you have the balls, the spheres on. And we can go to faces and it's going to get tiny, and then we can go to scale, and then we can take the scale up. But we can also do that within, oh, it already kind of weird scaled them anyway. They were already off. Look at that, that's kind of odd. Go back to vertices. I don't like that. I think I decimated it too much. And I'm not getting the results that I really want here. So let's go back. That's okay. We got our light still down there. And let's go ahead and just click on this object here. And we're going to go back into my unsubdivide and come back to reality on this 53 here. And let's try this out. So let's click on the light here and let's redo this whole thing. Click on the light, shift, click on this, hit a control P, hit object. Now let's go back over here to our tool and go into vertices. Now that looks a lot better. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to see. And that's how the other model was. I just knew I decimated it too much when I looked at it. And I thought maybe I could prove a point by taking it and getting it slimmer. And this is what I'm talking about when you need to do some experimenting. And you know, this is not uploadable, but this will show up within your game. Okay. Now all we have here is these little ghosts. These aren't really in there. If you look over on the right hand side up in this top plane, we don't have any pieces. There's nothing to export over here. There's nothing there. So we need to make these ghost pieces over here that we've created real and in the game. So what we're going to do is down here at the bottom, or it could be at the top, no matter depending on where your layout is at. I notice I see some people using Blender, and this is at the top. So it is object, apply, make instances real. All right, once you click that, you'll see over here in this top right hand corner, or wherever your part count is at, that you have a bunch of wall lights here, and there they are, boom. And they're real. Why you have everything highlighted, you might as well just take this and pull it up. You're almost where the other one is at. You could stick it right in its place if you want. And then we could just touch the other thing and delete it. Nope, I just touched a light. Let's touch that. All right. One light's not going to kill the model here. All right, so we have our thumbs down in place. And now we just need to export this. All right, and there you have it. So there's the how to import a model and be able to manage it, and what numbers that you need to look at, and then how to manipulate those numbers to actually get this model in the game. Now this is a very basic model, and it was very easy to get this model down to 5,000. Some you can't get there. So the Statue of Liberty, I had to do the whole Statue of Liberty. It took like 15 minutes for it to render and put all those pieces in there, and then I had to highlight the pieces that I wanted to delete. And then, you know, you don't just delete pieces in Blender. They got to like unmathematize itself. I'd have no idea. It took a while. It has to render it or under render it. I have no idea. There's a lot of terminology there I don't really quite know. But that's how I get these things in there, and then how I slim them down. Now you can't slim down everything like I just said, but you could still render it and then delete it, and it's a it's a labor of love and maybe sometimes waiting. So you go cook some dinner, or you got a project. That's what I like to do, or whatever you got to do. Go do some laundry. Hit the buttons, or while you're walking back and forth. So that's it, man. This is the elusive thumbs down button for YouTube and for all of the rest of the social media platforms that are stifling freedom of speech. So, yeah, I think that's a cool technique to use, and this is very powerful. And I think you can see that you can use this with a lot of different ideas that you have, and techniques, and mix them together. Next up, we're going to show you how to add some mathematical equations within the game, and I'll show you that on the next video. Hit that thumbs down and don't subscribe. I'll see you on the next video.